This is the morning weather video update. This is for Tuesday, the 18th of July. I'm James Spann. The dog days of summer rolling along. Hot, hazy conditions continue for the rest of the week. We'll be watching for thunderstorm areas north of Alabama that might try and drop into the Tennessee Valley in the northern part of the state for the next couple of days. But a lot of Alabama will likely be dry through Thursday. Let's begin with the big picture, if you will. This is the upper air look. The flow about 18,000 feet off the ground, and a very familiar look there. We have the big upper high, the heat bubble that's over the southwest United States, and a downstream trough extending from eastern Canada and the Great Lakes down through the southeastern states. And, of course, one of the concerns, it's the murkiness of the sky, the smoke from the Canadian wildfires and the haze we've been dealing with. This is the current look at the Canadian wildfire smoke areas. You can see it covers a pretty good chunk of the eastern third of the United States. But this will not last long. This is 48 hours from now, and you can see how the smoke is basically dispersed at that point. So that will improve. But the one thing that rarely ever improves here in the summer, it's the haze that we have. Standard summer particulates. They're almost always there. On occasion, you might see it cleared out temporarily. But again, today, between the low-level summer haze, the summer particulates, and the high-level smoke from the Canadian wildfires, it will be another milky sky that we'll be dealing with. There's the radar. Nothing happening early this morning. Temperatures are mostly in the 70s across Alabama to start the day. We're expecting mid-90s in most spots today. And we've got a few counties in southwest Alabama under a heat advisory. The counties in orange, that would be Choctaw, Washington, Mobile, and Baldwin. And that's where the heat index might hit 105. But again, mid-90s, hot, muggy. It's just a classic summertime day. The hot weather extends back into the southwest United States. So in terms of severe weather possibilities on the top and on the east side of the heat bubble, we tend to have these organized thunderstorm masses that form. And here we have a northwest flow aloft, and we do note that SPC has defined a marginal risk of severe storms from Tuscaloosa and Sylacauga and Ashland north, the areas in darker green. That's for the possibility of an MCS, a mesoscale convective system, dropping southward from Tennessee tonight. And it's going to fizzle out real quick. And the question is, where does it fizzle out? Could it be the Tennessee state line? Could it be Interstate 20? We'll take a look at modeling on that in just a second. But again, much of Alabama dry today. Tomorrow, a couple of marginal risks well to the northwest and northeast. And day 3, which is Thursday, again, we have a marginal risk clipping the northern part of the state. And again, the same thing maybe for an MCS kind of rolling through the Tennessee Valley. But again, we stress much of Alabama will be just hot and dry on Thursday. Here's a look at rain for the next 7 days, valid through Tuesday morning of next week. And of course, your number could vary. Rain amounts 1/2 to 1.5 inches. And the tropics, it is very quiet. El Nino doing its thing. Sheer across the basin, dry air, just really very quiet. And again, we have that one junk system in the middle of nowhere, and now it's a tropical storm. Yesterday it was a subtropical depression. Now it's a tropical storm, and the name is Don. And Don will continue to do the hokey pokey, looping around in the middle of nowhere in the Atlantic, ultimately probably dissipating about a week from now over the colder waters of the North Atlantic. We stress we have nothing threatening the Gulf of Mexico or the United States for the next 7 days in terms of tropical type activity. Model fans, here we go, the GFS. This is the 06C run, valid today at 4. 597 heat ring over the southwest, a trough over eastern Canada. And again, for us, much of the day just hazy, hot, humid, dry, mid-90s. But let's look at the high-res HERS. So you can see that it's got this MCS over Tennessee. This is 6 o'clock this evening. And that will probably dip into the Tennessee Valley. I'd say it's a safe bet if you're in Huntsville, the Shoals, Scottsboro. You might see a thunderstorm sometime between 6 and midnight tonight. But could it reach Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, Gadsden? Probably not. I'd say there's a low-end chance of that. So again, we'll be watching for a strong storm, and those could produce gusty winds, those MCS features like that coming from the northwest, and that's a reason for that marginal risk. Tomorrow, we've seen some evidence in the convection-allowing models there might be another MCS kind of scooting through northeast Alabama tomorrow morning. Places like maybe around Weiss Lake or Fort Payne, something like that. So if you're in northeast Alabama, you might have a crack at getting some rain. The rest of the state, still hot and dry with mid-90s. This is Thursday. Pretty much hot and dry, mid to upper 90s. And then Friday, the GFS a little slower with this front surface boundary coming in from the north. And this is suggesting the day Friday could be dry with mid-90s. And then we will have an increased chance of thunderstorms Friday night, maybe into Saturday morning. This is Saturday. And again, with that slower progression of the front, that means we'll have to kind of maintain a decent chance of thunderstorms, at least for the southern two-thirds of the state Saturday. Still not raining all day and not necessarily raining everywhere. But just be aware as the weekend begins, we could see some rain. But this is really going to knock the heat levels down. In fact, if you look at the GFS Moss, it's showing only 83 for Birmingham. We're not going that low in the forecast, but highs probably in the 80s for the northern half of the state. And at this point, Sunday looks pretty nice. The dew point's coming down, dry air. We start the day down in the middle 60s in many spots. I mean, that's going to feel good. And again, from Birmingham north, we might see upper 80s. That is very nice for July, with any scattered storms on Sunday near the Gulf Coast. And even there, not a washout kind of thing. Monday looks pretty quiet, and this is a week from today, Tuesday the 25th. Nasty 6,000-meter upper high right over the Four Corners in the southwest. They just can't shake that thing. And again, for us, that looks very typical for summer, mostly dry with low 90s. Let's go out 10 days. This is Thursday, the 27th. Same old story. Core of the heat well to the west, and again, things look pretty calm here. Rain for Birmingham off the European ensemble, really not showing a lot for the rest of July. This is valid through August the 2nd. The mean is 1 to 1.5 inches. Heat levels coming off the NBM, and again, you might want to shave a couple of degrees off these numbers, and this is for Birmingham. Your number could vary. The NBM likes mid to upper 90s through Friday, probably mid-90s for most. Of course, your car thermometer is going to say it's 120. We always get people sending in pictures. Hey, it's 121 degrees. You missed it. But notice the drop-off to 87 on Saturday. And again, we'll take that, 90 on Sunday, then mostly low to mid-90s for next week. And the latest 8 to 14-day guidance, this is for July 25th through July 31st. Temperatures above average over the contiguous United States. You know, we've had these around for a while, but people still don't get the message. Some people freak a little bit when they see these string of lights in the sky, like we had last night. And for those that don't know, this is an array of Starlink satellites. These satellites are being deployed for global internet access. And as they begin their journey to their position, they are in this long line, a string of lights. And people see those in the sky and think the aliens are coming, but that's not the case. That was over Alabama last night. Yeah, buddy, you bet these are the dog days. Nice, smoky, hazy sunset last night. And again, in terms of the Canadian smoke, most of that smoke is high up off the ground. The low-level stuff you're seeing, people say, well, it's smoky down at the surface. Well, that's more of the standard summer particulates we see here when we've got this upper high overhead and the winds are light. So the reason the sun looks like that, it's the Canadian smoke in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Most of that smoke is about 5 to 10 kilometers off the ground. And again, beginning tonight and tomorrow, we'll see an improvement in the amount of Canadian wildfire smoke that will be dispersed greatly. And we'll certainly take that, as I think most people they were curious for a while. Now they're ready for the sun to be its normal self again. That's it for the morning update. Tomorrow I will be at Ardent Preschool, the little ones in Trace Crossings. And again, we got a book signing on Saturday at Jim's Pit Barbecue in Billingsley. I'm excited. And again, I don't have the exact time yet. It's probably going to be a midday kind of thing. We'll put the hours, but longtime viewers know that's my favorite barbecue joint, and I love barbecue. And there's a lot of good barbecue joints in the state, but man, it's good. I've been going there since the late 70s. And they're going to have a car show, and we'll have all the books and the weather shirts and hats. So Billingsley is sitting on the Chilton-Autauga County line. It's in Autauga County between Prattville and Maplesville on US 82. So Saturday's a perfect day to come get some good eats, good barbecue, and take a lot of pictures, and we have so much fun at those. And, of course, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.